Okay, now you've got the Restore Ruin card. This allows you to direct your followers to repair these ruins, which generally speaking will unveil different parts of the land. Now, there are later on in the game, there are different routes that you can take. Some of these will require either a lot of your resources or a lot of your followers to do. Generally speaking, the more followers you put into this, the faster they'll be direct your followers to repair these. I always like trying to get a follower to one of these temples as soon as I possibly can. There are later on in the game, there are different routes that this is another feature which has been in the game for a long time. I really loved it. The idea that you can use the resource of your followers to build more to expand your population. I always like trying to get followers to one of these temples as soon as
This card unlocks not just repairing these beacons, but
this is another feature
some
which
things that
has been in the game for a long time. I really loved it. The idea
be able
that
to
you
repair
can
anything.
use the resource of your followers to build more to expand your population. I always like trying to get followers to one of these temples as soon as
this card unlocks not just repairing these beacons, but
this is another feature which
some things that
has been in the game for a long time. I really loved it. The idea that you can use the resource of your followers to build more to expand. I always like trying to get followers to one of these temples as soon as
not just repairing these beacons, but
this is another feature which has been in the game for a long time. I really love it. The idea that you can use the resources of your followers to build more to expand. I always like trying to get this is another feature you've just unlocked Belief, possibly the most valuable of all the resources in Godus. Belief allows you to sculpt anywhere. It allows you to use some of the god powers that you'll be unlocking in the next hour. And the more belief you have, the more powerful you feel as God. The main way is to leave your followers in an abode so they generate possibly the most valuable of all the resources. Now, don't think that you're probably thinking at the moment, oh, well, I don't like leashing around and collecting my belief like that. We've got a solution for you later on. Belief allows you to group sculpt your settlements together, so you only have some god powers that you'll be unlocking. Bear with us, because one thing I like about the more belief you have, the more powerful. Not at the end, not at the mid game, but the main way is to remind you, it pulls you back to your original settlers. To pick up the belief. You'll also notice in the bottom left-hand corner that little pulsing belief shows you that you've got uncollected. Now, don't think that we didn't quite have time to allow you to click on that to zoom to the place where the belief is, but we were collecting my belief like that. We've got a solution. You are now able to sculpt not only sand, but to sculpt grass. But beware, because it costs you that valuable belief to sculpt grass. The higher you sculpt, the more expensive. So don't at this point go to the top of a mountain and start sculpting. You'll run out of belief in a second. To your original setup. Keep your sculpts to the lowest level of grass. And I would use this at this point to maybe think about going on a bit of a treasure hunt. Now, we've hidden loads of chests, around this first area. You are now able to just using your sculpting power to find some of those chests. They're going to give you stickers, and those stickers are going to allow you to unlock cards. It's great to have a little store of those stickers because it gives you the flexibility later on.
Yeah, where the sculpting is in kind of small drags rather than these big land manoeuvres, it means that you can kind of be a little cheeky when it comes to some of these chests and just notch out the land a little bit at a time, and that way if you just see the chest poking out, sometimes you can get hold of it without having to burn.
We've hidden loads of chests around this first area. You are now able to just using your sculpting power to find some of those chests. They're going to give you stickers, those stickers are going to allow you to unlock cards. It's great to have a little store of those stickers because it gives you the flexibility later on.
Yeah, where the sculptures and kind of small drags rather than these big land manoeuvres, it means that you can kind of be a little cheeky when it comes to some of these chests and just notch out the land a little bit at a time, and that way you just see the chest poking out. Sometimes you can get hold of it without having to burn.
We've hidden loads of chests, around this first area. You are now able to and just using your sculpting power to find some of those chests. They're going to give you stickers, and those stickers are going to allow you to unlock parts. It's great to have a little store of those stickers because it gives you the later on.
Yeah, where the sculptures and kind of small drags rather than these big land manoeuvres, it means that you can kind of be a little cheeky when it comes to some of these chests and just notch out the land a little bit at a time, and that way you just see the chest poking out. Sometimes you can get hold of it without having to burn.
We've hidden loads of chests, around this first area. You are now able to just using your sculpting power to find some of those chests. They're going to give you stickers, and those stickers are going to allow you to unlock parts. It's great to have a little store of those stickers because it gives you the later on.
Yeah, where the sculptures and kind of small drags rather than these big land manoeuvres, it means that you can kind of be a little cheeky when it comes to some of these chests and just notch out the land a little bit at a time, and that way you just see the chest poking out. Sometimes you can get hold of it without having to burn.
We've hidden loads of chests around this first area. You are now able to just using your sculpting power to find some of those chests. They're going to give you stickers, and those stickers are going to allow you to unlock parts. It's great to have a little store of those stickers because it gives you the later on.
Where the sculptures and kind of small drags rather than these big land manoeuvres, it means that you can kind of be a little cheeky when it comes to some of these chests and just notch out the land a little bit at a time, and that way you just see the chest poking out. Sometimes you can get hold of it without having to burn.
Okay, Pit of Doom. This is the first PC exclusive feature and it unlocks gems. Now here's the thing. I love as a designer the concept of gems. The gems on the PC are very, very different to gems on mobile. Gems on the PC allow you to use your skill to find and collect and hoard gems, and then using those gems on different areas of the game. If you want things to go faster, if you want a building to go faster, you can do that. If you want to give your followers gifts, you can do that. Okay, if you want to
this is the
go through voyages with more followers, you can do that. Gems really allow you to use your patience or your curiosity to mod the game. They're not something to be frightened about. And you'll notice on the PC as well, there's no way of buying gems with money. We don't want you to buy with money. You've already spent your gems, and then you want to use your skill as a gamer to collect as many gems as possible. To go faster. Now, there's two approaches to gems. The first approach is a turtle approach. You've just unlocked the Living Society card. This is an example of more followers you can do. Do you wish to really allow you as a god care about your patience or your curiosity? Now, we are going to mod the game. They're not introducing a lot about happiness. You'll notice on the right hand side there's no way of buying gems in this bar. You may think I've already spent your gems. Happiness is going to be you want to use your skill as a game different areas to collect as many gems. We'll talk about it when we come now. There's two approaches to gems. But I've played this game without unlocking the Living Society. You've just unlocked the Living Society. This is an example of do you wish to really allow you as a god? Next is the Temple of Doom. This is the first PC exclusive. They're not introducing a lot about happiness. You'll notice on the right hand side there's no way of buying gems in this bar. You may think I've already spent your gems. Happiness is going to be you want to use your skill as a game different area to collect as many gems. We'll talk about it when we come now. There's two approaches to gems. But I've played this game without unlocking the Living Society. You've just unlocked the Living Society. This is an example of do you wish to really allows you as a god. Next is the temple doom. This is the first fancy exclusive, not introducing a lot about how to use. You notice on the right hand side there's no way of buying gems in this bar. So you may think happiness is good once you use your skill on different areas we'll talk about as we go past. Now, there's two approaches, but as you know, I've played this game without unlocking the okay, you've just unlocked the Godus, and this is an example of do you wish to really allow you as a god. Next is the temple doom. This is the first fancy exclusive, not introducing a lot about it. You notice on the right hand side there's no way of buying gems in this bar. So you may think happiness is good once you use your skill on very different areas talk about it as we go past. But as you know, I've played this game without unlocking the okay, you've just unlocked the Godus, and this is an example of do you wish to really allow you as a god. Next is the temple doom. This is the first fancy exclusive, not introducing a lot about it. You notice on the right hand side there's no way of buying gems in this bar. So you may think happiness is good once you use your skill on very different talk about it. But as you know, I've played this game without unlocking the okay, you've just unlocked the Godus, and this is an example of do you wish to really allow you as a god. Next is the temple doom. This is the first fancy exclusive, not introducing a lot about it. You notice on the right hand side there's no way of buying gems in this bar. So you may think happiness is good once you use your skill on very different but as you know, I've played this game without unlocking the okay, you've just unlocked the Godus, and this is an example of do you wish to really allow you as a god. Next is the temple doom. This is the first fancy not introducing a lot about it. The leash at last. For me, this is where the game really starts to be a bit more strategic. Deciding where your followers go, what they build, deciding whether or not you want to leash your followers to the pit of doom and get those lovely gems from sacrificing their lives. This is where it starts. Now, There's lots of different ways to use the leash. The first is to just tap and hold on a single follower and then direct them to where you want them to go. This can be to shrines of expansions that you've unlocked. This can be to repair different buildings. This can be to build things. For me, this is where the game take them and see what they will do. Deciding where your followers go, what they build. Next to someone who's dead, you'll notice that they'll react differently. This is a way we think breaking their lives. It's fine to use the leash as much as you want. There's lots of different ways to use. Later on in the subsequent update, first is to just the amount of time you take a free wheel away from the follower, and so there is going to be a consequence to what I call over-leashing. This can be at the moment, feel free to do whatever you want with the followers. To repair different buildings.
That's my favourite thing to do actually. This is where the game save up your belief and you get about 15 people to a massive area of land that you've prepared, and then just leash them and let them all go to it and start a massive building. This is also the way that you get people to the Pit of Doom.
It's fine to use this as much as you want.
And this was a replacement for all these totems that we originally had, which was a lot harder to balance the lip and fiddly, and this was our more tactile way of.
There is going to be a consequence to it, and it does feel really nice to have that. Feel free to do whatever you want to actually pick a follower up and decide exactly. Again, this is another thing I love about our approach. You may never use the leash. You can just scroll and let them all go to it and follow pip above a house. This is also the way that you bother about it, but it does allow you to use strategies, really planning out your role, sculpting an area that's up high, for example. It'll give you more belief when they generate belief. You'll need to get your people. It does feel really nice and using the leash to do that.
You can also use this mechanic on trees or rocks to destroy trees.
Again,
so clicking and holding on any object
you may never
in the world,
use the leash. You can just scroll
and let them all go to it and follow up.
Pip above a house. This is also the way to bother about it, but it does allow you to use strategies, really planning out your role, sculpting an area that's up high, for example. It'll give you more belief when they generate belief. You'll need to get your people. It does feel really nice and using the leash to do that.
You can also use this mechanic on trees or rocks to destroy trees.
Again,
so clicking and holding on any object in the world,
you can just scroll and let them all go to it and follow up. Pip above a house. This is also the way to bother about it, but it does allow you to use strategies, really planning out your role, sculpting an area that's up high, for example. It'll give you more belief when they generate belief. You'll need to get your people. It does feel really nice and using the leash to do that.
You can also use this mechanic on trees or rocks to destroy trees.
Again,
so clicking and holding on any object in the world,
you can just scroll and let them all go to it. Really planning out your role, sculpting an area that's up high, will give you more belief when they generate belief. You'll need to get your people. It does feel really nice and using the leash to do that.
You can also use this mechanic on trees or rocks to destroy trees. Again, so clicking and holding on any object in the world,
you can just scroll and let them all go to it. Really planning out your role, sculpting an area that's up high, will give you more belief when they generate belief. You'll need to get your people. It does feel really nice and using the leash to do that.
you can also use this mechanic on trees or rocks to destroy trees.
Again,
So clicking and holding on any object in the world.
you can just scroll.
also uses mechanic on trees or rocks. So you can actually clicking in order on any object in the world.
Okay, you've reached Voyages. This is a completely separated mini game. Now, the point is, when you're doing a voyage, remember your homeworld is carrying on playing, so you know it's a great thing to do if you're waiting around for your followers to build things. After you've done this introductory voyage, you're going to have lots of voyages to choose from, and each one of those voyages can give you rewards for completing a land, like extra gems, more belief, more stickers, and later on some. Okay, you've reached Voyages. Also, this is a complete separate. Some of those lands get hidden. Now, the point is, when you're doing a voyage, remember your homeworld is nice bonuses to find playing. Generally speaking, a great thing to do if you're waiting. There's a big reward at the end. Followers to build things, so it's well worth spending your time. After you've done this, big tip here: make sure when you go off and do your voyage, you've set the world up. So there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything is all going to be set in place, like extra things being built. This is the whole ethos of the game. This is not a game that is you just do one thing at a time. There's lots of things. Some of those you should not be waiting around. So especially on this build, you should never be waiting. Generally speaking, there's a big reward at the end. Followers to build things, so it's well worth spending your time. After you've done this, big tip here: make sure when you go off and do your voyage, you've set the world up. So there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything is all going to be set in place, like extra things being built. This is the whole ethos of the game. This is not a game that is you just do one thing at a time. There's lots of things. Some of those you should not be waiting around. So especially on this build, you should never be waiting. Generally speaking, there's a big reward at the end. To build things, so it's well worth spending your time. After you've done this, big tip here: make sure when you go off and do your voyage, you've set the world up. So there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything is all going to be set in place, like extra things being built. This is the whole ethos of the game. This is not a game that is you just do one thing. Especially on this build, you should never be waiting. Generally speaking, there's a big build things, so it's well worth spending your time. After you've done this, big tip here: make sure when you go off and do your voyage, you set the world up. So there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything's all going to be set in place. Extra things being built. This is the belief of something. This is not a thing that is you just do one thing. Never be waiting to build things. Go off and do your voyage, you set the world up, so there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything's all going to be set in place. Extra things being built. This is the belief of this is not a thing that is you just do one thing. Set the world up, so there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything's all going to be set in place. This is the belief of this is not a thing that is you just do one bigger abodes. Now, this has been quite a little. You've had quite a lot of waiting around, haven't you, to get this card? You have to get your population up to about 60. This is why, if you find yourself waiting too much, spend those gems to speed up those house buildings. I would say to you is sand is great to expand up your population. If you sculpt on sand, remember it's free. You can always sprog people for absolutely free, for no belief whatsoever. But bigger abodes, now a lot of little abodes on sand. This has been quite a little. You're not really investing. You've had quite a lot of waiting around abodes on grass. So I would focus on getting that first area to sculpt it out and get to those bigger abodes because they're much more efficient. This is why if you find yourself waiting too long, spend those gems. Followers like living in bigger abodes. They like. I would say to you is sand is great to expand up your population. If you sculpt on sand, remember it's free. You can always sprog people for absolutely free, for no belief whatsoever. But bigger abodes, now a lot of little abodes on sand. This has been quite a little. You're not really investing. You've had quite a lot of waiting around abodes on grass. So I would focus on getting that first area to sculpt it out and get to those bigger abodes because they're much more efficient. This is why if you find yourself waiting too long, spend those gems. Followers like living in bigger abodes. They like. I would say to you is sand is great to expand up your population. If you sculpt on sand, remember it's free. You can always sprog people for absolutely free, for no belief whatsoever. But bigger abodes, now a lot of little abodes on sand. This has been quite a little. You're not really investing. You've had quite a lot of waiting abodes on grass. So I would focus on getting that first area to sculpt it out and get to those bigger abodes because they're much more efficient. This is why if you find yourself waiting